two women, two mansions, two dark secrets that crack the foundations of seemingly respectable lives. Eyre and Rebecca, they swirl together like a storm over the English countryside, but each comes at you from a different direction. On the surface? Sure, they look like sisters. Young women stepping into mysterious, powerful houses, each haunted in its own way. But look deeper, and the contrast between Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre and Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca are as sharp as the cliffs below Manderley. Jane Eyre, let's start there. A novel about resilience, about a woman who refuses to let her circumstances define her. Jane's journey is one of growth, independence, and the fight for dignity in a world that seeks to crush her spirit. She's not just walking into Thornfield Hall. She's walking into battle, against class, against fate, against herself. Bronte's heroine is tough, fiery, but most of all, free. She's driven by this burning sense of self, no matter how much the world around her wants her to be small, invisible. Then there's Rebecca. In du Maurier's world, the second Mrs. de Winter isn't free. She's trapped in the sprawling shadow of her predecessor, Rebecca, whose presence clings to Manderley like mist on the sea. Where Jane Eyre fights for autonomy, this nameless heroine slips further and further into the grasp of the past, of a woman who's dead but far from gone. It's not about freedom, it's about possession. But let's dig deeper into themes. Both novels pull you into this tug-of-war between love and power, identity and subjugation. In Jane Eyre, it's about finding balance between passion and reason, between submission and self-respect. Jane falls for Mr. Rochester, yes, but she demands to be seen as an equal. She won't let love obliterate her identity. Thornfield. It's a Gothic trap, but it's also where Jane discovers her own worth. Rebecca, on the other hand, isn't about balance. It's about imbalance, about how love can twist into something suffocating, something that crushes rather than liberates. The second Mrs. de Winter is constantly comparing herself to Rebecca, trying and failing to live up to an impossible standard. Her struggle isn't just with the ghost of Rebecca, it's with herself, with this gnawing sense of inadequacy, of being overshadowed by a woman who still controls the house even in death. Then there's the characters. Jane Eyre is a force of nature. She's been through fire, abandoned, orphaned, humiliated, yet she rises, stronger, more determined. Mr. Rochester, he's the Gothic archetype, brooding, damaged, but not beyond redemption. They clash, they burn, but in the end, they find an equilibrium. Jane walks away when her integrity's at risk, and she only returns when the power dynamics have shifted, when they stand on level ground. But Rebecca? The second Mrs. de Winter is swallowed by self-doubt. She's fragile, hesitant, almost invisible, completely overpowered by the memory of the first Mrs. de Winter. Rebecca, who, despite being dead, is the most powerful presence in the novel. Rebecca's ghost looms large, manipulative, controlling, seductive. Maxime de Winter? He's not Rochester. He's cold, withholding, hiding secrets that unravel everything. Instead of growth, you get deterioration. Instead of equality, there's submission. Rebecca rules Manderley, even from beyond the grave. And what about the narrative style? Here's where things really get interesting. Jane Eyre is told in the first person, a confession of sorts, but it's deliberate, controlled, with Jane guiding us through her life with clarity and purpose. Every moment is shaped by her perspective, her voice, a powerful voice. She owns her story every step of the way. Rebecca, though, it's slippery. Du Maurier crafts an atmosphere that suffocates you slowly, a haze of mystery and uncertainty. The second Mrs. de Winter's voice is passive, unsure, always second-guessing, always apologizing. She's not steering the narrative. The shadow of Rebecca is. The more she tries to understand, the more she gets lost in the maze of Rebecca's legacy. The tension isn't just in the plot, it's in the very words. the way they pull you deeper into a world you can't quite trust. Two mansions, two heroines, two different kinds of hauntings. Where Jane Eyre teaches us the strength of independence, Rebecca warns us of the dangers of losing ourselves in the shadow of another. One story is about the fight to be seen, the other about the fear of being swallowed whole. So, which path would you take? The one that demands you stand tall, or the one that dares you to survive the ghost in the shadows? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more literature comparisons like this one. See you next time.